wait for more people to join. Yeah.
Mhm. Welcome, Abimbola. Welcome, Jennifer, our special guest. Welcome. You're very much welcome. My CEO has directed me to wait for a few more minutes more just to make sure everybody gets as much as possible from this program. So let's just wait about like 4 more minutes, and I see more people are joining us. Well done, and welcome, Miss Abubakar. We are happy to have you in our midst as well. Just waiting for a couple of minutes for more people to join us, and then we will continue. Do enjoy our video whilst we wait for the rest of the participants of this call.
Approach, you gain practical experience in coding, web development, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and much more. Our industry standard tools for teaching provide an immersive learning environment that mirrors real world scenarios.
Whether you are a beginner looking to kickstart your career or you are a seasoned professional aiming to level up your skill, our expert professionals at Doyenify are here to guide you every step of the way.
Join the ranks of our successful alumni who have gone on to work at leading tech companies and start their own ventures. Don't just learn technology, become a technology doyen with Doyenify Academy. Enroll now at Doyenify Academy and unlock your potential. Visit our website at academy.doyenify.com or call us at +234 703 341 6581. Doyenify Academy, where the future begins. Are you ready to unlock your full potential in the exciting world of technology? Introducing Doyenify Academy, the premier tech teaching academy for aspiring innovators like you. At Doyenify Academy, we believe that the future belongs to those who embrace technology. That's why we offer cutting-edge courses designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge needed to succeed in today's digital age. Through our hands-on approach, you gain practical experience in coding, web development, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and much more. Our industry standard tools for teaching provide an immersive learning environment that mirrors real world scenarios.
Whether you are a beginner looking to kickstart your career or you are a seasoned professional aiming to level up your skill, our expert professionals at Doyenify are here to guide you every step of the way.
Join the ranks of our successful alumni who have gone on to work at leading tech companies and start their own ventures. Don't just learn technology, become a technology doyen with Doyenify Academy. Enroll now at Doyenify Academy and unlock your potential. Visit our website at academy.doyenify.com or call us at +234 703 341 6581. Doyenify Academy, where the future begins.
Hello and welcome again to this webinar where we have prepared a special guest who is going to speak about her journey from customer support to software engineering at Wise. We're happy to have you here in our midst. Each and every one of you is highly welcome. We see you, Oludamola, Ekundayo Bello, Ayonkunle. You are very much welcome to the program. And thank you so much for your patience. Those who have been here first, I wish I had a gift for the first person to join the call, but what better gifts can I give you than to have you listen to a fantastic speaker who is here to inspire and to speak about her journey so that you can also pick one or two things from her as well as you journey through your own career for your own dream job. Before we commence this program, I would like to ask Mr. Benga Oluyede, who is the fantastic CEO of this wonderful company, Doyenify, and he has a few words to welcome you into the program before we commence with Jennifer's story. Over to you, Mr. Benga Oluyede.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tolu. We welcome you once again to the program. I believe it's going to be an interesting and exciting one this morning, where we are going to be hearing firsthand for someone that have passed through our program, our process, and eventually she's successful, and then she's doing good in her career. Yes, Doyenify Academy is here to impact life through tech. So that is what we are. That is our calling. We are here to actually impact you, to make sure you get the job. And then I believe you are going to hear a lot of things today, and then ask a lot of questions for someone that have really passed through the whole process. Let me share my screen a bit to show you how I believe most of us here will have seen our website. But yes, I will also show it again. If you can see my website, the website, please let me know. Maybe a thumbs up from the team. Yeah. Are you seeing the screen, please?
Yes,
Thumbs
we can
up.
see
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. All right. So this is the Doyenify Academy, and what we do is we train people in tech. So it can be that you don't have any knowledge in tech. It can be that you have zero knowledge. It can be that you want to upskill, you want to change your career. That is why we are here. And then we do this, we achieve it through several steps. The major steps are like you are going to get trained. Our amiable and expert tutors, we train you in any field of your choice. Also, after the training, like that, for the training, we have several courses. We have the engineering, the School of Engineering, we have the School of Data Science, Product Design, Product Management, Cyber Security, Marketing. And some people say, yeah, I don't want to write code. Yes, we have some no-code courses too. So after getting trained, we also simulate the work environment, whereby you can join our team and work and do the hands-on experience. Like basically this is how it works. You get the admission into it, and then you start learning project review, and then working on the sprints, and you do that all over, and you are your path to your career. So aside from that, after doing all those things, we start to talk about your interview preparation and CV review. And we believe if you have gone through that process, you are confident to tackle any interview questions. And then by that time, you are already available for the job. So yes, I will just employ you to explore our website to understand more. And then in case you have any course that interests you, for example, if you are interested in DevOps, and you still need some more questions, you can easily ask an expert, and we are going to answer all your questions. All our consultations are free. So yeah, you are going to learn more today from someone that have gone through this process, and now she's really having a nice time as a software engineer. She started as a customer service in Wise, and now she's a software engineer in the same company. And the knowledge she gained from the Doyenify Academy is actually what she's applying now. She's going to be talking, and I would like us to take out our jotting books, our paper, and note our questions down, and then let us make it interesting. I welcome you once again to the program. I believe you will be blessed as you go on with the program. Thank you. Over to you, Tolu. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olumide Oluyide, Mr. Binga, for that warm welcome. And thank you to everyone who has joined this program. I see Kalumi has joined. We see you, Adewale. We see you, Davison. Thank you so much for being here in the program. At this point, I would like you to go to your chat box. If you're looking for the chat box, if you look down on your screen, you would see participants, audio, video participants, and then you see chat. So if you go to the chat box, you see there is a link there. It's a Mentimeter link, and I'd like you to click on that link whilst Miss Jennifer is getting ready. I'd like you to click on that link. I'm going to share my screen now so that I can see who is in the link already. So if you click on the link, you would see a question waiting for you. What is your favorite way to learn tech skills? So just quick one, just put it there. What's your favorite way to learn tech skills? You can put online courses. You might be the kind of person that goes to YouTube. You like YouTube tutorials. That may be you. You might be the person that, well, hey, Googling it just works for you. So let's hear it. What's your favorite way to learn tech skills? By the way, if you can see my screen, give me your best emoji. Could be a thumbs up. It could be a heart. Anything. Do you see my screen? Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. So I see, oh, someone likes one-to-one. Another person says watching tutorials and practicing along. Nice, like hands-on. That's beautiful. Watching tutorials and practicing. Nice. I'm just going to give it like 1 more minute for, in case someone was already typing, so you can hit that send button. W3 schools or YouTube, and I feed a lot. That is a very interesting word. I consume a lot of articles. That's actually very beautiful. YouTube, now the responses are coming in. Awesome. I see YouTube and Google, online courses with project-based learning. Wonderful. I see having a mentor and watching videos. That's YouTube again. Hands-on practical learning. Online courses with project-based learning. Documentation. The person that wrote documentation sounds like someone in software engineering. But this is really beautiful. I want you to hold on to all of these things, the ways you like to learn tech skills, and then we are going to hear from the horse's mouth, so to speak. We're going to hear how Jennifer did it. How did she learn her own tech skills, and how did she transition from customer support to software engineering? I'm going to give the floor over now to Jennifer, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you again for being here. Folake, I see you. Kabiru, I see you. Ibukun, I see you. Olumide, you are highly welcome. Thank you for participating in sharing how you enjoy learning tech skills. And now I am going to hand over the screen and microphone to our very special guest, Jennifer. Please give her a warm welcome by giving her your best emoji. It could be a heart, it could be a clapping sign, it could be a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jennifer.
Jennifer, you are muted. Maybe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer, and I am a graduate software engineer at WISE. I'm glad to be here to be able to spread some love back to where I have gotten so much love from, and just to share my journey in general. So today I'm going to talk about my journey with Doyenify and also my journey before that to give you a glimpse of what I went through in my journey to becoming a software engineer now. Okay. So, a little bit about me. I studied genetics and biotechnology in university, and I was mostly working in the lab, making research on different types of cells, like human cells. I did a lot of my research in university on infection and antibiotic resistance. So I came from a completely different field. When you talk about what I'm doing right now, it's like almost opposite of what I am doing right now. And right now I'm working as a software engineer at WISE. So before I switched career, as I mentioned before, I was in university learning about genetics and biotechnology. I initially wanted to become like a researcher, but I was not feeling so much fulfilled. So after I graduated, I joined WISE as a customer support engineer, and I worked in that role for about a year. Then I moved to another role, a fin crime role in the company, and I worked there for about 2 years before now I switched to software engineering. And keep in mind that during this period of time, I did not go to university to learn anything tech related. I did not have any kind of tech background. I had one programming course in the entire time, which was a beginner's course in Python, and I did really horribly in that course. So I didn't have a technical background. So there is a popular phrase that says to master a skill, you need to put in over 10,000 hours to learn that skill repeatedly, and then like you become better in it. And initially, I was self-learning software engineering for about 1.5 years, like 1 year and a half. I was learning from sources like Free Code Camp. I learned from YouTube videos, and I especially like the question that Tolu just asked, which is how do you learn? I like learning practically. I like to do things. And then like I notice I build a lot of my skills when I do things practically. So I was self-learning with YouTube, Udemy and stuff. Then I applied for a role at that time, but I didn't get it because like I didn't fully understand what it was and how it is to work in a company and stuff. So then when I learned about Doyenify, I was like, it wouldn't really hurt to try this. So I joined the full stack course with Doyenify and also the hands-on practical course with Doyenify. And with this, like, I'm obviously here now as a software engineer at my company. So like, what are the kind of characteristics you need to have in order to grow? In general, you need to have desire to grow. It's not magic. when you join something or when you start doing something, you need to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. You need to be willing to learn. You need to be willing to have patience if things are not going well, because they will not really go well. It's not magic. It's not in essence, it's not magic. So you need to have the desire and the patience and determination, and you also need a mentor as well. It's not mentioned here, but you need someone that can guide you as well, and that's what I found with Doyenify as well. After joining Doyenify, I applied to 2 different roles. The first one, I didn't get it, but the second one was in my company and I did get it. I got a lot of guidance from my mentors here in Doyenify. I got a lot of help as well during my interview phase, and then now I got my job here in my company. And then obviously there are a lot of skills that I learned during the course of my journey in Doyenify, especially with the practical hands-on practical course. I had the opportunity to work in a team. I had the opportunity to build something that I could reference when I was applying for my job. I had the opportunity to see how team works, to engage in Scrum behavior, to work hand in hand with other engineers, to work sort of in a sense of asynchronous working, where like each person is working on different things. And this really helped me because I could be able to defend what I have learned in my interview process. I could be able to solve things when I'm being asked to. And I was also able to talk about in general how it is to work in a team. And this is something that companies usually look for. They want someone that knows a little bit of how to work with other people. So this was really helpful for me in landing my job at Wise. So how a little bit of how Doyenify works. Doyenify focuses on training. Doyenify is a huge product right now. They have a kids product. They have learning, hands-on, and when you join Doyenify, especially with the hands-on project, you have the opportunity to work on the products that Doyenify are actually building, and this will obviously build your skills. For example, when I was in Doyenify in the hands-on project, I got the opportunity to work a little bit on the website that Doyenify is currently using. And maybe it has changed a lot since then, but I had the opportunity to contribute to that. I had the opportunity to also contribute to building the invoice that is being generated for customers. So it was really, really impressive when I could mention that in my interview. Doyenify also helps with mentorship. I had a fantastic mentor when I was working in Doyenify during the hands-on project. I had a fantastic mentor that I could come back to him and ask him a lot of questions, and he was really supportive during my interview process. Doyenify also, like from time to time, I get calls from Mr. Gbenga about like where I am, how I am doing right now in my career, and what I should look forward to doing, skills I should learn to help me to grow. So it's not like immediately you're done, you're just done. Like there is like continuous guidance and help. Doyenify also helps with when you're organizing your resume for applying, you can like reach out to your mentors or whoever it is that you're working on. It's like and then ask them like, oh, what do you think about my resume? And they can assist you with that. I can also, Mr. Gbenga, if you have anything to contribute to how Doyenify works, this would be the perfect time to do that.
Okay, all right. Okay, I think I've okay, maybe you can share can you go to our website, academy.doyenify.com. Yeah, I think yeah, this captured everything. But yeah, so as Jennifer said, we have the training actually. So but the training is a sort of we are not so like you have to train with us. Sometimes we have some people that have trained somewhere else, but they said, okay, I just want to have the experience, because without training alone, can't maybe is you are what you do repeatedly. You understand? So it's all about hands-on experience. So what you do will give you the confidence. So yeah, I'm happy she's showing this. So you get trained, yeah, so like what we did for Jennifer, she get trained with us for the full stack software engineering, and after that, she did the hands-on experience, and then continuously we always call her until she was able to get the job. So, if you have more questions, maybe after our presentation, you can shed more light to it. Yeah, all right, Jennifer, you can continue. Thank you.
Okay. So, what would I say that you should, like the kind of characteristic you should embody if you are looking to transition to any field, even if it's not software engineering, if it is like product management or data analysis, or just like if you're looking to transition, is practice. You should be able to give enough time, give yourself enough time to practice, because practice makes perfect. As long as you practice things over time, you would get like to the point where it becomes like a normal thing for you. You know the next thing to do. So the more you practice, the more your skills grow. And this is something I have noticed, and this is something I have known for quite some time, even during the time I was studying in university. The first time I went to a lab, I didn't know what to do. By the 15th time, I knew, oh, you need to sanitize things and stuff. And the same thing with software engineering. The first time I started doing or learning, I didn't know what to do. The same thing with Doyenify. When I joined Doyenify, the first time I went to the code base, because a code base is like a maze. It's a huge thing that you have to get accustomed to. So practice makes perfect. And of course, when you're practicing, you might need a mentor to guide you along that time. So you need someone to clarify things to you. And joining Doyenify will really help with that, because you have someone available to ask questions and be like, please help me understand what's going on here. And the next thing is dream. I can kind of rephrase this to be not just dream, like actually loving what exactly it is that you want to do, or falling in love with it, with what exactly you want to do. So you have a dream, but you should also fall in love with that dream, and that will help with it. So when you dream about something that you actually want to do, liking it will actually also help with motivating you to to work towards it better. And also believe, if you believe in yourself, you'll be able to stand up for yourself, you'll be able to answer things and speak very confidently. You'll also be able to confidently explain things that you don't know. You'll be able to confidently say, oh, I don't really know that. And that also helps if you can say things without ego and actually express your desire for growth, which is the next thing. So growth is not something that you rush. It's not something that you start today and then tomorrow it's going to happen. No, growth is a gradual process. So as long as you're willing to grow, as long as you're willing to acknowledge that there will be stumbling blocks along the way, and you're willing to acknowledge that you might fall, because I self-learned for over 2 years. I self-learned before joining the Doyenify for about 1 year and 5 months, and then I joined the Doyenify for the last 6 months span, 6 to 7 months span. So growth is something that you should be willing to acknowledge that it will not happen within 3 months, like we always see online. And that was actually one thing I thought when I started self-learning. I saw a lot of videos online about like, oh, like I was learning software engineering for 3 months and then I'm now a software engineer. No, that's not growth. Some people it takes longer, some people it takes shorter, but you should be willing to acknowledge that it might be longer or shorter for you. So that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Thank you so much, Madam Jennifer, for gracing us with your fantastic presence. And thank you for that fantastic presentation, which you have shared with us right now. I learned one thing that really struck me that you actually said is that you have to love whatever it is that you plan to build your career in. And I think that's actually is just very powerful. Thank you so much for that. So that means, I mean, if you love what you do, then of course the determination, the sleepless nights. I don't know if you have sleepless nights. The sleepless nights are going to become like easy for you, so to speak, because you have a goal in mind that you actually love. Thank you so much for your presentation. Right now is the time for you to ask all of those questions that you came to this program with. I'm sure you didn't just come to the program just to hear from her, but actually to interact with Jennifer, to ask her questions. So any question that you have for Jennifer, this is the time. This is the time for you to ask her those questions. I know it takes time to type questions. As I'm talking, I'm probably interrupting your thought process. So I'm going to keep quiet for like a minute to allow you to finish writing your question down. And then feel free to post it in the chat box. Any question that you have for Jennifer. You can also unmute yourself if you want to speak or raise your hand. Unmute yourself, whichever way you want to do it. Just let us know and I will give the floor over to you. So I'm going to keep quiet now for like a minute and allow you to type out your questions and kind of ask your questions.
Hey guys, so maybe not a question, but just like a comment. So first of all, I want to say Jennifer, that's a wonderful presentation, and you have actually put it the right way. So I think you should keep it up, and the sky is your starting point. So to Doyenify, it's nice to see that you guys are doing an amazing job, and you guys should also keep it up. But maybe just one question that I would like to ask you is, so now you are working as a software engineer in Wise, and what has been your relationship with Doyenify since you get your job? Like, do you keep in touch with your mentor? How does that factor into your day-to-day life? So, like, we'd just like to know.
Okay, my relationship with Doyenify, I could do a better job at that, to be honest. But we're not. So I receive calls from time to time from Mr. Gbenga to check in with me about like where I am, like how is the job going, especially around the 4 month mark of my job, because we have a 4 month probation period that you have to pass. So I receive a lot of calls and even quite like maybe like once a month or once twice a month. And then like initially when I joined the role, I used to reach out to Mr. Shola because he was my very close mentor when I was in Doyenify. I used to reach out to him with problems that I had in the job. And I used to ask him like, oh, like, do you understand this? Especially when I joined. And the first task I had was in Golang, which was like a completely different thing from what I learned. I learned front-end engineering more. I learned a little bit about Java, but front-end engineering was more my field. So I used to reach out initially and then ask him questions and be like, oh, like, can you explain this to me and stuff? So that's in a nutshell, that's my relationship with Doyenify right now. I still like ask questions like, what do you think I should learn? Like, for example, the last time I spoke to Mr. Gbenga before we spoke about this webinar and stuff, I was asking him about like what does he think I should learn. So he recommended some books and stuff and some things I should focus on learning. So that's like the kind of relationship we have now. It's more of like a guidance-ship relationship. It's not as much as it used to be before, where I would be like asking a lot of questions. Now it's more like of a guidance, like a guiding relationship. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, just.
Mm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toyib Ahmed, for that question. And thank you, Ms. Jennifer, for your response as well. I see there is a question from Ibukun Olua in the chat box, and I will just read it out. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you very much for the presentation. Can you briefly explain the frustration that comes with learning and becoming an engineer? You said your background is different from IT. How did that take a toll on you as well?
Okay. So there are a lot of frustrations, obviously, when it comes to learning something. Like if you're in university, there's a justification to be like, oh, this is my assignment. This is something I should do. Um, so like I mentioned initially, I was like self-learning at the first time. So I didn't have any mentors at that time. So I would just bang my head like it was like the Wild West. It was really, really crazy. I I would stay overnight most of the times because I'm trying to resolve things. And especially when you're working with front end things. There are a lot of like outdated packages, and I didn't like. I was like, things are just breaking. If I use YouTube videos that are like a year old or 2 years old, I have to download like some older packages or something and use like some links that they put there, but they're linking to older things. And then I didn't know like I'm using older packages, but now that I have more experience, I can be like, I know that oh, when you check, you can check for newer versions and stuff. But then like it was really hard, and then not knowing how to resolve things was really hard. I was not resting a lot. I did not have like really good self-work, like work-life balance, because then I was still, I had a full-time job, which was my customer support job, and it was all over the place. So the frustrations were more of not really knowing what to do to resolve the errors I was getting and not really knowing if I'm actually learning anything. Like it was really hard for me to quantify what I was learning. And then at one point, I felt like I've learned a lot. Then I applied for an internship position, which I didn't get. So I felt really bad. Like, in fact, like for 2 weeks or to a month, I didn't touch anything software engineer. I just took like a break, and I was like, I'm not touching this anymore. It's like really frustrating. So in a nutshell, like it felt like really, really, it felt really, really not really good. But on the flip side of it, I was able to build some things that I felt really proud of. Um, I built a school website for someone, for my mother, because she has a school, and then I felt really happy about that because I could visualize and I could see that I've learned to the point where I could do something, and I was able to understand things differently. I was able to apply logic whenever I got something. I was able to solve some tasks, some lead code tasks, and have felt amazing. So it was kind of a two-way bridge. I felt sometimes bad and I felt sometimes really happy and proud of myself. Um, and I said my background was different. Yes, my background was different to IT, but I remember like I had a friend in the last year of our studies, and he switched to, because in our study you have the opportunity to be a genetics uh, and genetics and biotechnology person, or bio robotics and something bioengineering. So he switched there and he had to do a lot more tech focused things, and he was advising me that I should think about joining tech. So that was my first like kind of introspect into what tech is, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So when we graduated, he got like a position as a machine learning engineer, and then he was talking to me about it, and that was the first time I actually started looking into it through Free Code Camp. So my initial my when I first started with engineering, it was obviously a bit hard because I had to switch the way I think and the way I do things, but I really liked the fact that I could build things. I really liked the fact that I could, because I'm a very visual person, I really liked the fact that I could do things and see them. And that was why I even stuck with front-end engineering. So it did not really take so much of a bad toll on me, just that within the process and the progress over the 2 years that I spent learning engineering, it was like there were some highs and lows in general, which is normal. Even in university, when you're in university, you also like have time when you're really stressed by the assignments that you get and stuff. So I think that's a normal process, the highs and lows. So in general, that's it.
Thank you very much, Miss Jennifer. I see now that we are warming up. We are warming up. I see more questions in the chat box. I'll read the next one out from Divine. Divine is asking. Divine says, "Thank you, Jennifer, for this wonderful presentation." So, how were you able to build a portfolio in software engineering, and also how were you able to manage your time effectively?
Okay. A portfolio, do you mean like a website or just like things that I did?
Divine, you can unmute and clarify, please. Okay.
Thank you very much for this presentation. So when I talk about portfolio, I'm talking about like your real life project as a software engineer.
Okay. So I generally just after I did the free code camp, because if you go through free code camp, there are 5 main projects there that you have to complete to get the web design or web, I can't remember exactly the name, certificate. So that was like the first things that were in my portfolio of things I have done, of projects. And then also the fact that my mom needed a website, the school website, I was like, okay, let me just like use this as a practice, like a way to practice my skills. So I did that. And I got a course. Actually, I attended before joining the Doyenify, I attended a conference. It's called Wise Women Code. I applied for it's for women that code, and then it's like a 3 day kind of conference where you go and you meet other people that are also trying to transition like you are. So I did not mention that, but it's also good to attend these kind of events if you have the opportunity to. So I attended that, and then I spoke to other people who were better than I am. And I got like some advice of things that I could do on courses I could do. So I got like one course from someone there, and then I did some projects that she kind of from the course that she mentioned. Um, and then I searched online. I searched online in general, and I did things. And through that conference as well, I got the ability to learn that API design is something. So I started to play around with some APIs. Then I joined Doyenify, and then this is where I actually did like some really huge project that I could add to my portfolio, things that I could boast of. So I also did those as well, and I mentioned them in my portfolio. So in general, this is all the steps.
Yeah,
Personal research.
let me add to that, to what you said, because I remember you joined when you when you joined Doyenify, you work on doing HR, right? So that project is like the human resource project, and then you are opportunity to work on the invoicing part of the project. Yeah, and I remember you said you went for an interview with Wise, and that's one of those questions they ask you, and you are able to like, yeah, showcase the fact that you are able to work on an invoicing project. And then, yeah, they were so impressed at the interview based on your experience and what you worked on that particular project. And then, yes, it was a success. Yeah, that's just an addition to your story based on your experience. Yeah.
Okay. So, in a nutshell, that's it. And then the next question is, how was I able to manage my time effectively? Okay, so that was like one issue, one frustration I mentioned earlier, that I was not really managing my time because of my job at the time. When I was in the support team, I was doing multiple shifts. Sometimes you're doing night shifts, sometimes you're doing morning shifts, sometimes you're doing midday shifts. So it's hard to really time box what you want to do. If you're like, oh, every evening I would do this, it's really hard because not every evening will be available for you. And then you don't have the opportunity to know your shifts before the month actually started. So it was really hard for me to manage my time at that point. Then I switched to another role, and the reason why I switched to that role, part of the reason why I switched to that role is because I wanted to see if there's an opportunity for me to become like a financial crime specialist, or to have more time to actually like, do other things. And that role was more kind of strict with time. So I could do like 9 to 5 or like 7 to 3 p.m. And then I had the evening to do other things. So when I switched to that role, I was able to manage my time more, because previously, if I was doing something like, if I was having issues with the project I was building, I would be like, oh, I need to fix this before I actually sleep. And then once I do that kind of thing, and then I end up not being able to fix it, then I will not actually be able to sleep, and then I will feel burnt out. So that was really detrimental to me in general. Once I learned how to time manage myself, which is like, oh, at least a week. I'm not going to like box it to a day. At least in a week, I'll devote like maybe 4 to 8 hours or 10 hours doing this. That was helpful to me, and especially when I switched to this role where I could be like work remotely and then be able to have like some time before night to do something. I was able to do that more effectively. So time management also depends on your personal situation, and unfortunately for a lot of people, if you don't have a really nice personal situation with other things, it will be really hard. But being able to be more strict with yourself and be like, even if this is failing, I should be able to end this here and rest. It's very important. So if you could do like maybe 1 hour or 2 hours in a day, or do like maybe 4 hours in a week and just do it in the weekends, that's enough. As long as you're practicing it, that's what matters, because you are putting in the time to learn things. So as long as you're doing it, and you don't have to, it does not have to work the first time. That's something I needed to remind myself. It doesn't have to pass the first time. As long as I'm putting in the time, even if I'm failing, I know that I'm still doing something. So that's really important. That helped me to manage my time effectively.
Nice. Thank you very much for that. Fail fast and get up and try again faster, even faster. So thank you very much for that fantastic response. I would read out the next question to also give you some time to also like process the question as well. So do you think AI will affect the demand for people that just wants to transition into tech? Do you think AI is going to affect the demand for people that want to transition? I think many people have this question at the back of their minds, to be honest. So please, could you address that?
I also have that question at the back of my mind, especially because I'm a new engineer and I'm like, okay, my company is adopting a lot of AI tools and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I hope you guys won't kick me out of the company. Like, okay. Okay, I don't actually think so. I think they soon, no, I don't think it will kick people out of the jobs. I don't think it would like affect people that want to transition. But I think a way that will actually help you if your transition is knowing how to use these AI tools effectively. Like now, the job is switching more to from, oh, are you able to do this too? Are you able to use AI to do this faster, effectively, and move on to the next thing? I think that's what it's switching into, because in my company, my team, for example, my team is a platform team, and we are responsible with the engineering and in general in the company. And we are introducing a lot of AI tools. So I think now it's switching more to, can you use this AI tool that we have introduced to you to do this task that will take you normally 8 hours in 3 or 4 hours, and then move on to the next thing, so that the company is going really quick, really quickly. So I think I don't think it's going to affect. I think what is going to, is the way to affect people is, are you able to use the AI tool effectively? So that's it.
Nice, nice. And one thing I forgot to mention when she mentioned that she attended, Jennifer, you mentioned you attended a Wise Woman Codes
Cool.
program. And one thing I forgot to mention was that actually after she attended to learn from people that gone ahead of her, so to speak, now in the last Wise Woman She Coach program, somebody actually reached out to me when they saw this flyer about Jennifer's story on my status, and the person said, "Wow, I know this lady. I met her at Wise Woman She Coach. She was a mentor there, and she was very, very knowledgeable." So this is just a huge testament to the fact that you really have, really, really grown, and you have done so much. So well done to you, Jennifer. So I'll read out the next question now. Were there moments you doubted your decision? How did you push through?
Yes. There were moments that I doubted myself, and like I was like, okay, it looks like these skills I'm learning, I'm not going to be eventually be able to use it. And in those moments, like I was even thinking of applying to something that is a bit adjacent to tech, like maybe like a tech adjacent role, like maybe a specialist that has to know a little bit of knowledge of SQL, but they're not actually like an analyst or something like that. So there were moments like that. Um, and how I pushed through was by like being close to people like me. Like in essence, I applied for the Wise Women Code so I could meet and be in the position and be close to other people that are in the same mod as I am, people that are also trying to transition. I have I had like two friends that were also trying to transition, so we could support each other mentally. And I also had like someone that is a front-end engineer that I reach out to here in Estonia. I talk to her from time to time. I reach out to her and I speak to her, and then I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. And then she's like, oh, don't worry, just keep going or learn this. So she was like a mentor out of like, it was really hard to actually reach out to people that are in tech because people don't have time in general. But she was able to create time for me, like maybe once in 6 months or once in 4 months. And whenever I'm really feeling down, I'll just reach out to her and send her like a message. And then I also had someone that I reached out to. She was in our company before and she switched to like a software engineer role. She learned software engineering in university, but it was really, really helpful to reach out to her because even if she learned in university, it doesn't mean that you actually get the role. Sometimes you also need to self-learn upon going through university. So I reached out to her sometime and I asked her questions and then I talked to her about my concerns, and then like just being in like in the community of people that are also going through the same thing and being able to motivate each other and being in the community of people that are already there was able to help me to push through, to be honest. So I could learn, I could hear the stories of how she actually had to go through hoops. She was in Wise for like 4 years before she switched, and she's no longer in the company right now, but it's a testament to seeing like this kind of the road or the journey to switching is not like the same for everyone, and so for some people it will take time, for it to be shorter. So that was what I did to help myself in those conditions. And to be completely honest with you, sometimes I actually took a break. I'm like, you know what, let's just end this year. But then like I really liked it, and that was why I mentioned that you need to love it, because I really liked it and I was able to come back and be like, you know what, I've not built this in a while. This is making me feel somehow. I need to do something. And then I searched for the next best thing, the next best video and stuff. And also like when I started in Doyenify, it was really helpful to have like people, a mentor that I could speak to, and like, you know, just work on project that I could see that was being used by people. That was like really huge for me. Like, okay, I know that this thing I'm working on, someone is going to like use this and be like, oh, nice interface or something like that. So that helped as well. So,
Awesome. I
mm.
have like three questions on time management, time management, time management. So I'm just gonna allow you to take them all together. So because Divine, who asked also about time management, said I'm really having issues with time management, working, schooling, learning Turk is actually very difficult. So Richard, how do you structure learning while still working full time? And how long did it take you to get comfortable in your current role?
Okay, let me answer the first one, which is about time and time structuring my learning. So, um, initially, I mentioned it earlier, when I was in my first role, support role, it was really hard for me to structure it because it was here and there, it was like everywhere. I could not really I really appreciate having a routine. Some people do not work like that, and that's completely fine. So this my answer is based on people that like to have a routine like I do. I like to have a routine. I like to be like, oh, within this time I'm going to do this. I like to time box tasks. So it really, really messed with my life, to be honest. So I needed like a sort of a structure, which is why I moved to the role, the fin crime role I was in. So I was able to now time box it and be like, after I finish my work, I'm going to spend 3 hours or 2 hours learning this. And I didn't do this every day. Uh, what's happening? I don't know why this went off. I didn't do this every day. I did this like maybe 4 times in a week. I just like spend time to, just I'm going to spend 3 hours learning this and just continue from this. And it's really also really, really hard sometimes if you're listening to people and someone will tell you today, like, oh, you need to learn Java because if you don't learn Java, you're not going to get a job. Or someone tomorrow is going to tell you, well, you need to learn data analysis because data analysis is the next big thing, or data science. Or so really, really just like loving exactly what it is I did really helped me to just be focused on that alone instead of just going around, like, because I did try it sometime to just go around, and that really messed up um with my schedule of learning for myself. So instead of giving myself like a 6 months like deadline to learn something specifically, to take me longer. So just really focusing on exactly what I was learning and doing it consistently really helping me. So 3 hours or 2 hours in a day, 4 times a week, I try to like incorporate learning into my day. And then I also try to relax and go outside, because if you don't go outside sometimes to clear your mind, things can really get really bad. Mental health is also a really big thing, and the stress of learning, especially when you're learning something new that you didn't learn any other way, you need to decompress yourself, and you need to go outside and try to decompress.
Yeah, the three
And
hours after working, which you did, was that also like kind of the amount of time that you dedicated to your hands-on experience with the Doyenify Academy?
so with Doyenify, I did 4 hours. I was doing 4 till 8, and yeah, sometimes it got a bit hectic because at that point I was learning Estonian language. But once I stopped, like it was now okay. I was like, once I finished working, I shifted my work hour 7 to 3 p.m. and then I did 4 to 8 on doing 5 tasks. And
Nice. So
sometimes we had to do stand up, so sometimes I couldn't join. Sometimes I couldn't join the stand up, but I let them know, obviously, like by text. But yeah.
communication, nice. Which brings me to my next question. Um, how do you handle proper communication between you as a software engineer, and someone says as a QA engineer? How do they make your tasks easier or give you tough time? I think the person is asking between QA engineers and software developers. So how do you handle proper communication between these two roles? And do they make your tasks easier or do they give you tough time?
Okay. QA engineer, like I don't really know about that. But in my role, we have to write tests ourselves. Like we don't have a dedicated QA team in my company. So we have to be the tester of our products. Whatever we write, we need to write our tests for it. And then like we have this 4 eyes policy in my company where when you write codes, like it needs to go through someone else's eyes. Um, but your question was, as a software engineer, how did you do what?
Communicate with the QA engineers. Did they make your life easier or more difficult?
I did not have to communicate with the QA engineer. I had to write my tests myself. Like maybe someone else have more like,
So
yeah.
maybe I should give more clarity to the question. So to your answer, to your response. So in Wise have that this no QA policy. Like the software engineer is also responsible for testing their product in Wise. So you are doing two. It's like she's doing two roles in one. You know, she's a software engineer as well as a tester. So she also ensure the quality assurance of her product, of what of that task that she's working on. So yeah, that is what she's trying to say. But yeah, in while she was in Doyenify, I actually don't think she interfaces with any QA, because in Doyenify we have dedicated team for QA. Whereby after she has done, but then sometimes she will join the meeting, as she said. Sometimes she may not be able to attend the stand-ups, and she's apologizing for that already. Your apology accepted. All right. All right, yeah, so that's that. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olumide. So someone wants to know, Miss Jennifer, how many programming languages do you code? Because you said sometimes when you tell you need to learn Java, maybe it's another person is C++, another person React. How many programs do you actually coding?
That was a really, really bad thing that I think a lot of software engineers or people that are learning to just transition in general will make that mistake when they listen to someone and the person is like, oh, this is what you're learning. Oh, you know what you're learning is completely useless. You should learn this instead. And then you just like stop what you're doing and then you start learning something else. Like, and then you learn it for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then you realize that you don't actually like that thing. So you're going to come back to what you were doing before. So that was like a really, really kind of detrimental thing to me, because like one thing I realized now is that knowing one language very well is going to help you with understanding another language. So like for me, the question is, how many languages do I know? Right? I'm good with TypeScript and JavaScript, HTML and CSS, even if people don't really call it languages, but it's also really, really complex. And then now I started working with Golang and doing like, I also started doing some things with Java, but I will not call myself proficient in those languages. My language, the language I'm proficient in is JavaScript or TypeScript. So.
Awesome. Wow, that's a lot of languages, plus English, plus I don't know if you speak Igbo. Okay,
Estonian
someone is
language.
asking. Estonian, thank you very much for that reminder. A lot of languages, multilingual software engineer. So looking back, is there anything you wish you would have done differently?
Well, what I wish I would have done differently was to get like some sort of guidance. Obviously, Doyenify was not open when I started like learning, self-learning, so there was no way that I would have gotten guidance from Doyenify. But getting some sort of like consistent guidance that would assist me in kind of, because like I got the role like maybe 4 months, 4 to 5 months after joining Doyenify, and I think the guidance really helped, and having a mentor that I could ask questions, that was really, really helpful to me. Getting a guidance that can like guide me and show me the path and be like, oh, you're on the right path, or like you need to come back, you need to refocus, you need to continue on this, like, yeah. So that's what I would have done differently, even if it was not Doyenify, maybe someone else, somewhere else. Yeah.
Nice. So two people are asking questions related to like learning. One person is asking, so what is your advice to self-learning people? And then the second person is also asking, maybe you can take that first question. That what's your advice
Sorry, you
for
were cut, like, sorry, something cut you off, like, can you say,
oh
can
okay.
you say the question? Yeah, please.
I'll repeat again. So the person is asking, what is your advice for people that are doing like self-learning? So what's your advice to them? And then your advice for someone looking for a similar position in IT.
Okay, my advice would be consistency, and for someone that is self-learning and not feeling worried or feeling not getting demotivated when you fail, because failure is like a natural part of this process. So for someone that is self-learning generally, there are a lot of time, and also like being aware, being patient as well. It's not going to happen immediately. You need time. Time is like your best friend when it comes to this. You need time. You need to practice, and you need time for that practice. You need to be patient as well, and like patience and ties up everything with the time and the practicing, because like obviously like you're not going to learn something immediately. Like if everyone could learn something immediately, everyone would be doing what they love. Everyone would be a doctor, everyone would be a pilot, everybody could do everything immediately. But you need time and you need practice and you need patience to be able to kind of overcome the things that will come up. And imposter syndrome is a real thing, because I still feel it, and I'm already a software engineer. I still feel like sometimes like I'm not enough. Maybe they'll kick me out of this company tomorrow. Tomorrow I will not have a job, stuff like that. Especially before I passed my probation, I was so worried, and like it was. I was so worried. I was trying to do more. I was trying to like really beat myself up a lot. So imposter syndrome is something that you would feel, and it's a normal thing to feel. You should not feel like so worried. As long as you're on the right track and as long as you're practicing, eventually this will all like come to fruition.
It's funny that you
So that
mentioned
was
that
the first question.
imposter syndrome because I had that advice. That was my next question. Like, how do you deal with like imposter syndrome? And are you comfortable in your role? How did you get comfortable in your current role?
um so I would say like there have been a lot of changes since I started this role. Like when the month I started till now, I'm obviously more comfortable. I will not say 100% right now because I don't want to be 100% comfortable. I want to grow to the next thing. So but when I joined the first month, I was like, oh my God, someone will find that I'm a fake person here. Someone will find out that that I'm an imposter. Like, oh my God, this girl doesn't know anything. And like I was so worried to go on peering calls with senior engineers in my team because I was worried that, when they're like, oh, like how else can you write this for loop without actually writing for or something? There are like new methods that are in JavaScript, obviously, that will help you without writing a for loop. You can maybe reduce or something, use reduce for an array. And then like initially, like when they asked this question, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. And then I was so scared, but yeah, that was imposter syndrome like a lot. And till today, sometimes I still feel like they might find out that, I'm not really smart and I'm just like living among them and stuff.
I hope this call is not being recorded.
um, but then like what I do generally is feedback. I ask a lot of feedback from my colleague and my team lead, especially most especially. And then these feedbacks helps me to actually realize like where I am versus where I actually started. For example, we had like the last feedback session I had with my lead was this past Thursday, and he was able to tell me the ways I have grown, which was really helpful to my mindset, to my ego, whatever. Um, and I was able to talk to him about like, my growth, and it was like really happy. And it was a really nice session because even the fact that we're talking about the fact that I'm not really good at some parts, but the change between the feedback when I joined and the feedback I got now is very, very like it's quite measurable. When I joined initially, there were some things I couldn't do. I wouldn't touch a code base, like unless someone was on the call with me. And now I'm just like, pushing PRs and not wondering if I'll break something actually, which I broke things like a few times. But now I'm more confident with pushing because I know I can revert and like try to like sort out where that went wrong. So yeah, like getting feedback was really helpful. And also, like, I have something I call a bragging doc, which I use to write down the things I have done or the things I am doing, and like write down how I did, like the complexity, and be like, oh, like I couldn't do this. Like, there's no way I would do this like a year ago. And then I just write it down in my bragging doc. And I also share that with my lead so you can see it as well. A nice
Nice.
confidence boost.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so.
Awesome. So now, would you say, or would you agree? It's actually Shola that is asking this question, that software engineering is simple, or do you still think it's hard?
No, like, okay, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to answer this question. Is software engineering simple? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think it's simple. Like, I think it's practice makes perfect. Like, as long as you practice, you are more aware of what is happening. But I don't think it's simple because even senior engineers need to learn things. Uh, for example, with this AI thing that's coming up now, the senior engineers in my team, they need to learn how to use those tools as well. Like now we're having like maybe like some calls, and then we are talking about new AI tools that we can introduce to the company, and they are starting at the same level as I am, and I'm like feeling so happy about that because obviously because of their knowledge, they are able to learn how to use the tool faster. But we are starting like everyone is learning like new things. I would not say it's simple. I would just say like there is a hack to it that you need to be aware of, and maybe joining Doyenify can help you see that. So, but it's not
Hmm.
like by any means. It's not. It's just like if you have passion for it, and if you're willing to learn and practice and stuff, like it would feel like it's simple, but it's not actually simple.
Nice. I like the fact that you mentioned AI just now. So someone is asking that, does that make you a lazy developer if you know how to use AI to write your code? Should you get worried? Like, does that make you a
Yeah.
lazy developer?
Yeah. Okay. So initially, my leads used to ask like, okay, like used to let me know like maybe I should use AI, and I'm like, no, I don't want to use AI. Da, 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 da. It will not let me learn. Da, 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 da. And it's like, no, this is how the world is changing right now. If you are not going to accustom or adapt to the new ways of software engineering, we might have to let you go and stuff. I will not say make you lazy engineer, because with AI, you still need to know what you're doing. AI can spit out rubbish. And this is something that I've seen a lot, like quite recently. AI is there to help, but if you use AI a lot, you will know that it spits out some rubbish sometimes. You need to be careful as well. So if you are not a good engineer, you will not be able to really use AI well. So I will not say make you
Nice.
a lazy engineer. It makes you solve a problem faster, but it's also like a kind of a teaching process for you. And if you know what you're doing as well, you can use it to the best, to the fullest, but you can also realize when it's leading you the bad way, because AI, yeah, no, it's not like perfect now.
Yeah,
So,
maybe I should add to that. So, like, the best engineers are the people that actually know the working principles of a software. So you are maybe
Mm.
the language you are writing, you know how it works in depth. So the in-depth knowledge, your personal in-depth knowledge is what is needed. So I was like, based on our experience in Doyenify, we also, we always do this interview preparation and CV review. We have seen various times whereby recruiters will give you some kind of, this kind of home tax. And we've seen them saying, we do not want to hire artificial intelligence, we want to hire human intelligence. So they are saying that please do not use artificial intelligence to solve this home assignment. So when you are doing an interview, they want you to actually bring on your own personal knowledge. But when you get to the job, you can continue to do that. So that means that you have to understand the working principles of things, how things work, like the lowest working principle, the process. So you have to understand. So yeah, it's good to use AI, but when you are doing interviews, there may be some kind of payback then, and then
that's
that's going
absolutely
to be the
right.
moment of
Like,
truth. Yeah.
that's absolutely right, because like we also have some conversations in my company where we're talking about like, since people are using AI in the job, why don't we just open it to the interview process? And they were like, no, like you still need to know the basics, because AI can hallucinate a lot. And even there was a recent interview that one of my colleagues did, and he noticed that the person was using AI, and obviously the person is not going to get accepted. Like, so you still need to
Wow.
know, yeah, you still need to know how to do things. Yeah.
Mm. Beautiful. One more question. I know we made you talk a lot. In fact, if you want to take a sip of water, if you want to, you can feel free to do that. But just one more question, and we'll move to questions for the audience as well, just to make sure you're actually following through with our conversation and Jennifer's nuggets as she was dropping them. So which is harder, customer support or software engineering?
Software engineering, obviously. Okay. Well, with customer support, I needed to use a lot of emotional intelligence, and like, a lot of like, and I'm a very introverted person. So like when it comes to those kind of, I needed to really pour out a lot of my emotion, like hold back a lot of my emotions, not really pour out, and be empathetic and stuff. So when it comes to that field, like, computer does not care about your emotions, obviously. But you also need emotional intelligence when you're working with engineers. You need to be able to, communicate. Communication is a huge part of all of this, and you meet some engineer that they don't know how to communicate. It's like, ugh. But when it comes to that aspect, but no, in general, no, software engineering is harder.
Okay, good to know.
Mhm.
Okay, this is the final question. Someone just dropped this question right now, and we'll have to wrap things up as well, because we want to give you much more time, give you back your day as well. Can you become a professional software engineer without any basic knowledge about this?
Any basic knowledge about what?
About software engineering. Or maybe you can unmute yourself, Ashmi.
I know, like, oh, okay. Do you want to?
Do you want to unmute yourself and clarify?
Okay. What I meant is, can you become a professional, like an expert, without you having any basic knowledge about computer, about what software engineering is all about? Or you just have this passion of becoming it? So is it possible, and how do you go about it?
Well, I mean, like, it's possible, but you need to learn it first before you can become it. So you can join Doyenify and find out about that. So yeah, it's
So-
possible, but you need to learn it.
So let me add to that question. So I think the question is about if you don't have a background. I'm trying to rephrase that question. If you don't have a background in maybe IT, yeah, Jennifer here at the beginning of her speech, she said she studied gene technology, which is like far from software engineering. So yeah, no matter your background, if you put your heart to it, you can become a professional software engineer. You just have to learn the trade. You have to learn the process of software engineering, and then with time you become a professional in it. I think that was that was going to be my response to that.
Jennifer, it's like people don't want to let you go. Someone should just drop the question like right now. And person is asking, data structures and algorithms, are they compulsory for a software engineer?
So that's like that was the bane of my existence initially. Until I like obviously I'm using it now because I'm in a full stack role. Even if I'm more dominant in front end, I still need to do some back end tasks. So I need it, and a lot of companies require you to have knowledge in data structures and algorithm. It's something that I learned a bit. Like I also learned it a bit with Free Code Camp, and also when I joined Doyenify for the experience program, we had access to some courses to learn data structure and algorithm. A lot of companies need it, but like I've spoken to some other software engineers that are just web developers and they didn't have to go through it. But rarely you would find those kind of companies that are just concerned with you designing something. They're not concerned with, software engineering. But most of the companies need you to have knowledge of data structure and algorithm. That is my experience and the experience of people around me. Maybe Mr. Gbenga can add to it since they are more experienced than I am.
When it comes to being a software engineer, data structure and algorithm is very, very compulsory. I would say it's compulsory because there is no product that you won't apply those principles in. A string, an array, and a lot of binary search and all those things are very like you have to just apply it in your when you are developing. So the knowledge of all those things is very important and compulsory for you to be. When are you going to use a dictionary instead of an array? When are you going to use a list? When are you going to use an enumerable? You have to understand all those things. You understand? So you cannot just use or throw things around. So if you don't have a good background and understanding of those principles, you may now start finding maybe you are in the team and someone is saying, reviewing your code, they do code reviews a lot. Like, why don't you use a list? Yeah, why are you using a gun to kill a fish? Why can't you just use a broom to kill So all these data structures are like tools that you use to achieve your aim. So you cannot be using a gun to now be using it to kill a fish, where you can easily use a bow and arrow or something, or maybe just a hook, a line and hook. You understand? So that is just what I can say about data structure and algorithm. So they define what packages, what tools, what data structure, what algorithms you're going to use per time. Though, yes, some algorithms can do the same thing, but what is the best approach to solving that problem? So, because when you talk about software engineering, you are actually trying to design the systems that will be used by thousands of people, by millions of people. So if you use the wrong data structure or a wrong algorithms, it can backfire in the long run. So it is very compulsory for software engineers to understand data structures and algorithms. Thank you.
I have one question
But
for you.
would you,
Okay, after you, when you're done.
yeah, I just wanted to like ask Mr. Gbenga a quick question that can help people in the call. Would you agree that you don't have to be perfect in data structure and algorithm before you get the job? This knowledge is built like.
Yeah, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. Yes, I agree. Yeah, you don't need to be totally perfect, but you have to have at least some basic understanding, and then you must show that, yeah, at least you understand what you are doing. Yeah. So for that, I will recommend you to start learning. People that are interested in data structure and algorithm, you should use something like LeetCode. That is a very popular website. You can leetcode.com. And also in LeetCode, and after that, if you are like looking to get job in some international companies, you can start looking at something like Blind 175, Blind 150. So what are they? You can read more about it as I'm saying it. Maybe there's no time to. Maybe you can join Doyenify to come and learn about that. So there is Blind 175, there is Blind 150, there is some other blinds like that. So with that, they are like accumulation of data structures and algorithm questions, whereby if you can actually solve those questions, you are really on the path of getting jobs in big, maybe you know about FANG, FANGs companies. Thank you.
Nice. So I have a question for you, Jennifer, actually. So which one sounds scarier? Debugging a production bug, talking to an angry customer, or speaking in a webinar, or everything?
Which one sounds
scarier?
Which one sounds scarier? Debugging a production. Well, speaking with an angry customer, like depending on the company you're working for, you can just tell them like if they are not nice to you, you can end the call. Like that was something that's why I started doing like a few months before I stopped support role. So like there's a lot of support there for the customer support specialist as well. Speaking the webinar, like I don't like public speaking a lot, but it's something that I've acknowledged I need to grow in. But it's not as scary as debugging a production.
But thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience with us and just, pouring and pouring and pouring to all of us. We really, really appreciate your presence with us today. And honestly, it doesn't even show that you are an introvert from this call, like very personable, very friendly, the kind of person I would like to work with in future, hopefully. Maybe I should apply to WISE too.
Yeah, you can join us.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jennifer. And to our lovely audience, there is a link for you, another link in the chat box. I want you to quickly head over there and click on this link. Just a couple of questions for you, just to see if actually people were, following Jennifer's presentation. I see some people have started joining. I'm going to share my screen. Please just check the chat box and join the link. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, please let me know. You can see my screen, right? Yes. Awesome.
You can see it. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. I have 9 people in the room, but there were like 20 people on the call. So please join in. Once we start, there's no going back. 11 people have joined. Let me wait until it's 15. Or maybe some people don't know that we are ready to give prizes after this game. Please join in. Okay, 13. Let me wait for 15. Okay, 15 players now. Are you ready? 16. Okay, let me give it a minute. 30 seconds more. People are leaving. I'm about to close this door. Please go to the chat box in case you're joining in again. Go to the chat box and click on the link. We're about to play a game together. Okay, now I'm going to start it. We'll have 16 players. First question, how many years of self-learning did she engage in before starting out at Doyenify? It's very fast. Nice. I see we were paying attention. That's great. 1.5 years. Awesome. Get ready for the next question. Ibukolua, Peelings, and Uwa have the highest, fastest fingers first, and then Taye and Ivy were next. You can do better in the next question. How fast you click on it matters actually. Next question. So how many years of hands-on experience did Jennifer do with Doyenify before landing her dream software engineering job at Wise? Six months. Wow, almost everybody got it. Not everybody was able to answer. You need to be fast. Okay, let's see who is leading now. Peelings is leading. Nice. Ibukola, didn't you get it? Just kidding. Okay. Let's see. Ivy was the fastest. Nice, nice. Next question. I have 19 players ready. It's going to be like 5 seconds, so please be very fast. So does Doyenify offer full stack web development as part of its courses? Nice, more people answered now. Only one person got, maybe this person was trying to be funny actually. Nice. So Peelings is actually still the leader of this game. We have one more question. The fastest person was Pelumi. Ua is up. Ivy is also up. Nice, nice, nice. You can do this, Aria. You can do this, Victor. You can do this, Cardboard. You can do this, Davola. You can do this, David. We believe in you. Next question. Final question. Does Doyenify offer only software engineering as part of its courses? Wow, everybody got this one. That's awesome. Peelings is still on top. I wonder who this Peelings is. Please, you need to unveil yourself after this game is over. And Peelings is our winner for this game. Thank you very much for everyone that participated. It was fun.
Guess who is Peelings? Halima is Peelings.
Wow, Halima! That's awesome. That's awesome. So one last question, and then Mr. Gbegayu, please give us the vote of thanks. So when does the next cohort begin? There's no mark awarded to this question, unfortunately. So just please click on the one you think is the answer. When does the next cohort begin? Just because somebody clicked June does not mean the answer is June. You can try another answer too. Okay. I'm just going to give like a minute for people to respond. Somebody has clicked on December. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, great. Thank you very much for your responses. Mr. Gringa, please can you tell us the answers to this question and give us the vote of thanks?
Yeah, thank you, the host and the our presenter Jennifer. We really appreciate your time. The next cohort is actually going to start in June, and that is going to be the second week of June. Our program is always in the weekend, so it's not something that will affect your daily work. So we always have it every weekend, and our courses varies. We have the School of Software Engineering, so School of Data Science. We have, as you can see on our website, let me check it so that I don't give you things up my head. Engineering, data science. In engineering alone, we have various courses. In data science, we have various courses. Product design, we have UI, UX, graphic design. If you have talent and you believe that is what you want to do. Product management, cybersecurity, marketing. Let me just delve a bit into the engineering part of things. In the engineering, we have people that are interested in DevOps. If you're interested in doing DevOps, cloud engineering, artificial intelligence, fundamentals, we have automation testing, we have front-end development, we have full stack web development. That is what Jennifer came to do. And then now you can see she's a testimony already. And we have manual software testers, and then we have the full stack software quality assurance, whereby you do the manual and automation testing course together. And a lot of other courses in the data science also. When you talk about data science, we have things like financial data analytics, data analytics itself, advanced data analytics, and basic of SQL. So those are some of the courses that we have. And then aside from that, let me share my screen a bit for us to also have some other understanding of some of the services that we do. Because I realized there was a question at the beginning whereby the host was asking what kind of training do people like. Some people said one-on-one training. Yes, Doyenify also have that kind of one-on-one training, a sort of mentorship, direct mentorship. Some people like, oh, I just want you to teach me alone. So we have that, and then that is what we call the Doyen access, whereby you have access to our mentor directly, and then from there we will take you step by step until you get the job. You can wake your mentor up at the middle of the night. It's going to attend to you. You are just like, and then we have, if you can see my screen, all our program are online. You can see the price there, and then you can see our mentors. You can see them, you can write them, and then, yeah. So that is what we are doing, I believe. Aside from that, also, we also have the young doyen. If you have kids, you are parents here, or you have a brother or a sister that you want to let them start writing code from time, because we believe that if you early exposures to programming or to tech, we actually improve your imagination. So the earlier you are, the better you are. The likes of Elon Musk, the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, today, they started at a very early age. That is why now they are not thinking about software engineering. They are even thinking about going and flying into space. So with that, we come up with this plan. And for kids, you can give your kids or your niece or your nephew some gifts also. You can buy them some courses, and then, yeah, maybe their birthday is coming up, and then you're like, okay, for your birthday, I'm going to give you a JavaScript programming. So go and learn JavaScript for you to become the next Mark Zuckerberg. So those are some of the services we do. And then, yes, I cannot but mention the interview preparation and CV review. This is very, very important. The link is broken at the moment. We are working on it. And then our consultation, as I said, is free. You can easily write us anytime. We are ready to respond and give you a helping hand in your career. So yeah, that is just what. So that I learned that there is a question in the chat. Let me see.
Must I join a course to get a mentor? What if I just need a mentor? Is there a price for that, Mr. Gbenga?
yeah, you don't need to join a course to have a mentor. You can just come, as I said, our mentorship program is on doing access. You click on this, and then you start the process. So it's always it's a subscription process whereby you subscribe based on all these plans. You have the basic access, you have the intermediate access, and you have the professional access. So this is how to join. You just have to click on all these, any of these that you've chosen. Or another thing you can do before you join, you can actually like do a sort of consultation for us to know what exactly you want to do. So by that time, we are going to advise you accordingly to the best approach you are going to take. So yeah, we have we used to have, I don't know if we still have it. Let's see. Yes, so if you click on this contact us, and then I need more information, you can book a section with us. So this is loading now. You go to load this a minute, and then you can book a 30-minute section with us. It's free. Don't be afraid. Then we are going to advise you accordingly. And then from there, the sky is the limit. So that is just my introduction to what we do. If you have any questions, you can easily write us at info@doyenify.com, and then we are going to answer your question. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing this very, very beautiful experience with us. We are so happy to have you. I believe next time we call you, you are going to really answer us again. I believe some of our students say, "Yeah, I want Jennifer to mentor us." Yes, maybe sometimes you will want to mentor them too. All right, so yeah, so we are going to reach out to you anytime we need you. Thank you for coming. And then to everybody that have joined the program today, we appreciate you. We thank you for your questions. They are very interesting and beautiful questions. And then, yes, we are open. Just write us. We are going to run to your aid, to your help. That is why we are here. We are here to help. That is our calling, our own calling. I'm not called to preach. I'm called to impart the life of people in tech. So please, we are here to help you. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jennifer. Thank you, Pius, Halima, Ashmira, Apal, Richard, Tayo, Shola, Abimbola, Ayo. I'm going to mention everybody's name. Belumi, Adewale, Folake. Thank you, Kabiru, Kenny, Olumide, Taye, Ivy, Blessing, John Snow, Kolawale, Victor, and Divine. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate you, and see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Bye.